Let's face it, it's difficult to be successful in WWE and one-on-one action, but a fatal four-way? A competitor has just a 25% chance of being victorious. Those aren't the best odds for anyone.
We got Sasha Banks in action right here. She is looking legit as always.
I don't know what's harder to look at, Sasha Banks' sunglasses or that bargain basement suit you're wearing, Byron.
What? I just bought this.
She wants to do this in the ring.
Uh-oh!
Suicide dive!
When you're a superstar in a fatal four-way match for a coveted WWE championship, or to be #1 contender, or just to settle a score, there are times you could be in there with a tag team partner, a friend, or an ally. I don't subscribe to such things, but remember, in a fatal four-way singles match, it's about every superstar for themselves.
When we talk about fatal four-way matches, and Corey, you mentioned this before, everyone is battling for themselves. Alliances are fleeting, and a rivalry can be conceived or renewed at any time. There are instances when friends have to battle one another if they are to achieve everything they want to in sports entertainment.
Michael, that's true. As we've seen in the past, sometimes you have friends, even members of a brotherhood, clash in a fatal four-way matchup. Think back to what we saw at 2015's Payback when Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose ended up throwing down. When I talk about fatal four-way matches, I always think back to the classic battle at Backlash 2007 between Shawn Michaels, John Cena, Randy Orton, and the Rated R superstar Edge. The action was so fast and furious from the get-go and served as a prime example of why a superstar needs eyes in the back of their head in a fatal four-way match. Devastating elbow.
Byron, earlier you mentioned one of the classic fatal four-way confrontations in sports entertainment history. The match between John Cena, Edge, Shawn Michaels, and Randy Orton for the WWE Championship was a highly anticipated main event. The match saw a temporary reunion of the Rated RKO tag team and even saw a quick kick out from Becky Lynch.
Just needs to do more damage.
Uh-oh! Suicide dive! What a stomp!
Good grief!
Neck breaker!
Ouch!
Uh-oh! Suicide dive! Beginning to look bad for her here. But you can bet there's still plenty of gas left in her tank.
And you just get that feeling that being outside the ring so much here in this match will eventually come back to haunt her.
It's been an amazing match up to this point, guys, and from where I sit, any one of these women can win this thing. Many times in a fatal four-way match, we've seen superstars join forces for the moment in taking out a dominant entity. This could be someone like Big Show, The Undertaker, Kane, and Nia Jax as examples. When a superstar has that type of power and can be that dominant, competitors will put their differences aside in hopes of eliminating that force from the match.
What a stomp!
Good grief! Becky Lynch just too fast for her.
Byron, you made an excellent point a few moments ago. There have been many times throughout history where superstars have joined forces in a fatal four-way match in hopes of eliminating, by pinning or incapacitating, that dominant force. Sometimes interesting alliances are formed. We saw that at the 33rd WrestleMania during the Raw.
I think this is the beginning of the end.
When looking at the WWE roster, I would underline Sasha Banks as one of our risk takers in the ring. She's never afraid to overextend herself.
It's what makes her a daredevil. She takes risks that have both paid off.
She looks for it once again. We bring up Sasha's tendency to be unpredictable and risky.
Wow.
This really makes it difficult for her opponent to scout a game plan against Banks.
Oh, you guys are over there praising Sasha Banks for her risk-taking. I see Banks as overzealous in attempting maneuvers that are more about grabbing the spotlight than they are about winning. Wait for Sasha to wipe out, then take advantage of her mistakes.
There are two things that are crucial for success in a fatal four-way match: being resourceful and timing. And one is really the product of the other. There are so many things in this type of match a superstar has to keep in mind. And no count out and no disqualification means anything can happen, and it's all...
She's looking at it. She's calling for it. Byron, earlier you talked about the importance of timing and being resourceful in a fatal four-way match. That reminded me of the #1 contenders match we saw on Raw in April of 2017. Nia Jax, Alexa Bliss, Sasha Banks, and Mickie James collided to see who would face Bayley for her Raw Women's Championship. Let's just say in the end, Miss Bliss took advantage of a situation.
The 5 feet of fury has her master's and doctorate in timing and resourcefulness.
We have seen her here before. Kyrie's, this might be it.
Oh, my. Got all of that one, that's for sure.
2018 marked another pivotal step for the women's evolution when the first ever Women's Royal Rumble match took place. Becky Lynch made sure she was ready. As the second entrant in the match, the Irish lass kicker had a tall mountain to climb.
And look at the quickness by Sane.
Bringing it back between the ropes.
You talked about the inaugural Women's Royal Rumble match, Michael. I gotta give Becky Lynch a shout-out because she was the Rumble's second entrant and put together an impressive showing.
Against my better judgment, I have to agree with you, Saxton. I tip my hat to Becky Lynch. She didn't win the Rumble match, but she lasted more than 30 minutes in the historic battle.
Ring rattling. And there's the reversal from Sasha Banks.
And look at the quickness by Sane. If you talk to Sasha Banks, she'll tell you life, in her opinion, is all about timing. Maybe 15 years ago, she wouldn't have made it here in WWE. But today, she can be the leader of the women's evolution. Look at her go.
Folks, if this Extreme Rules match is anything like the ones we've seen in the past, there's a very real chance that this gets extremely ugly. 15 years ago, Byron, Sasha Banks may not have been main eventing pay-per-views, but today Sasha leads a new era. An era of change, an era of women's wrestling, an era of the boss.
Well, dummies, 15 years ago, Sasha Banks was probably in high school. But I'll agree, Sasha Banks is the right woman at the right time in WWE, but she needs to be careful about Pump handle, up and...
Ooh, what impact. Wow, what a move. But this could do it. Digging deep for a kick out.
She's still in this one.
Taking on any more damage here could very well mean the beginning of the end.
Oh, nasty impact. Boom!
Look at this. Boom. Nice.
At this point, guys, I can see any one of these 4 superstars taking the victory here tonight.
What a brutal beating we've seen dished out so far here tonight. This is it.
Boom! That has got to be it.
And this has got to be it. 2. The resolve this woman is showing right now is absolutely unreal.
Unbelievable.
Boom, what impact.
Front hold.
Oh, my. 2. 3.
Has been eliminated.
And there's the reversal from Sasha Banks.
Beautiful technique.
One more time.
Uh-oh. Oh, man, she's rolling now.
Clothesline. This could end it in a hurry. Vicious strike. And she's back in the ring now. One more time.
Uh-oh.
I can't believe everything that's transpired thus far. It's been so physical.
What a boot.
Wow, Sasha Banks just got flattened.
The boss is in trouble. She reverses out of it.
And not a second too soon. Close call there.
That's how you put an exclamation point on the end of the match, guys.
Looking for all the glory here. 2, 3.